On that note, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Got my friends here with me. We're back on the couch. I did hit record, right? Yes. So I was flip-flopping back and forth on how exactly I was going to do this. Then I realized the cord for my mouse is long enough to just reach over here. So, also bear with me. I'm going to keep looking over there occasionally. It's like a force of habit, because that's always where the camera is. Now it's here. I'll never get that down. But alright, so that's the setup. We've migrated over to the couch once again. We're in good shape. Now that my sound test is good. Oh, okay. I toyed with a lot of ideas. I thought about putting the motion sensor bar over there. There's just not enough space. I toyed with bringing my gaming chair over here. Then I'd be too high up from the mic and too close to the TV, and there's no room for a table. So here we are. This is the setup. But anyway, I'm rambling. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the much anticipated Metroid Prime Trilogy Revisit. What a time to be alive. If Nintendo will not give us Metroid Prime, we're going to do it ourselves. On OG hardware, of course. Just get my stream manager back up here. Fuck it, we ball. Exactly, Cess, exactly. We're specifically playing on the Wii, of course. As you can see, this is the Trilogy Edition. Now, of course, we're starting with Metroid Prime 1. This would not be my first experience with that game. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce Tyrus, Squidward, and Snoop Dogg. So, based on my estimates, and it's looking like that's going to be true, I'm going to be doing this on normal difficulty. So this was a different me back then. I won't necessarily 100% all of them. I'll probably 100% the first one. This is a casual playthrough. This is not what I normally do with this game. This is a revisit. We are going to casually play through this, re-experience the game as God intended. And by God, I mean Retro Studios. So, yeah. Here we are. I would estimate this one, the first game, will probably take me 4 streams, because I've been beating that game in roughly 5 hours lately. You figure 2 hours each, that brings you close to 8, you know, for reading scans and stuff. I would assume 2 and 3 might take me about 6 streams each. Because there's gonna be, I'm gonna take my time through there more. It's been so long since I've fully experienced those games. As you can see, these are the save files from my test stream. And like as for now, it's normal difficulty. We will do challenge runs of each of these in the future, of course. Normal difficulty and hyper mode difficulty. We're gonna go here and restart these save files, essentially. I'd love to. This feels so organic, like, I love this. Like, I am... Did that work? Yeah, there it goes, okay. Like, I'm sitting here on my couch, pointing a Wii remote at the television. This is what it's all about. So, of course, the plan is to do this and mix in Star Fox. No schedule changes from the Kirby Air Riders Direct, because that game is releasing in November, which we will talk about that more. This game we will stream extensively, but for today, the focus is Metroid Prime Trilogy. See this bad boy here? Aside from the little case that goes over it, this thing is, for all intents and purposes, complete in box. It is the collector's edition. As you can tell, it is the steelbook. I was thinking, I mean, my goal was always to unbox this during my first Metroid Prime 4 stream. I'm starting to wonder if Metroid Prime 4 ever even existed, because I was told it was supposed to be playable at some kind of event, PAX West, was it, I think? I think it was supposed to be playable. And then all of a sudden, Nintendo decided it's not going to be playable. They didn't even say it won't be playable anymore. Maybe I'm thinking of a different event. I might be thinking, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was supposed to be playable somewhere, and now it's like not. And under my assumption at least, and I'm just like, did it ever exist? Was it just a figment of all of our imaginations? That being said, y'all know how I feel about Kirby Air Ride. Those are my two big games. If it wasn't Kirby Air Ride that snuck up here, I have my own theories on that. We'll discuss. There's a lot to discuss today. That was a very good direct today. For now, I'll just say Sakurai, God, he is God's gift to mankind. He is such a gem. He's such a wonderful person. Shout out to him. But yeah. I'm starting to think 2025 is the year of Masahiro Sakurai, not Samus Aran, because I don't think this game's going to release in 2025 anymore. Let's do it. So I have my own theories on some of the things that went down today. Metroid Prime, I know there's a lot of people wondering what the hell's going on, of course. Me included. It's like, this game was announced 8 years ago. Why did we get a 4-month turnaround for one game when we can't even get an 8-year turnaround for this game? And it's a valid question to ask. I don't say it in a salty way, because Kirby Air Riders felt like even more of a long shot than a Metroid Prime 4. So I'm actually a very happy human being right now. But just the darkness is kind of concerning. It makes me think it could be delayed. I don't necessarily think it will, but like I said, we're taking our time. Current status, environment unstable. We're immersing ourselves in this playthrough. Fuck it, we're gonna scan the door. Entrance to airlock. Airlock repressurization successful. But I don't necessarily think it was Nintendo's plan to have Kirby Air Riders jump Metroid Prime 4. So let's scan some stuff. Maybe we will try 100%. I don't know. Actually, no, that's more of a challenge run. We're not going to do that. We're going to casually read what we want to read. Parasite. Yep. Interstellar vermin travel in swarms. Indigenous. That's tough. That's a tough word. I apologize. Harmless. However, they tend to travel in large groups. High levels of radiation detected. Anyway, back to my theory as I'm reading through scans and whatnot. I think that Nintendo tends to let their ego get pretty inflated. And of course, this past weekend, we had the release of Dragon Drive. And I have not heard good things. Death caused by acidic burns to body. Chemical type unknown. I have not heard good things, of course. Weak life signs detected. Large bite marks can be seen on exoskeleton. I keep getting sidetracked by really cool scans. And probably barely anybody played it. Like, you narrow it down to the type of person. Like, it needs to be someone who's okay with mouse controls. It needs to be somebody who owns a Switch 2. It needs to be somebody who just cares about a game that it kind of looks bland and the gameplay seems kind of bland. Like, I don't want to be sitting here doing this non-stop just to move. I like the gimmick in moderation, much like I like the DS's touchscreen gimmick, and I like the dis in moderation. But hey, you know. Hell yeah, J-Boy, thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy, happy, what freaking day is it? Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Happy to have you. Welcome to the stream. But my theory is the reception was so bad that I don't think Kirby Air Riders was going to release until, or they were going to even talk about it until like September, and maybe not even release it till next year. But the reception to Dragon Drive was so bad that Nintendo just called Sakurai and said, hey man, is the game done yet? That would be great if the game was done. Make people forget about this, you know? This is how I clip now, by staring across the room. So that's my theory. But also that theory gets shot to shit by the simple fact that I thought it was going to release in September as a result. It's not. It is taking the November window, which was popularly theorized as the Metroid Prime window. So that begs the question. My theory now is it's still going to release this year. I'm very skeptical of that, but that's my theory. Use caution. Balls to the wall, baby. Balls to the wall. I do what I want. My theory is one of a little bit of pessimism. I no longer think that Nintendo is prioritizing this game as much as I hoped they would. To me, it feels like if it doesn't get it's either getting delayed or they're just shoehorning it in between a bunch of releases that they feel are more important. And that would be very tragic. Because, I mean, there's nothing in December, but I wouldn't call that a prime window, really. No, zero pun intended. Let's read the lore first, then we'll get back into it. New pirate data entry has been downloaded to your logbook. Zebes has fallen. All ground personnel are presumed dead. This game, chronologically, takes place after Metroid 1. 2D Metroid 1, that is. All ground personnel are presumed dead. Either killed by the hunter clad in metal, that's me, or in the subsequent destruction of the underground facilities. Our research frigate, whatever, Orpheon, Syriacus, and Vol Paragom. Sure. We're in orbit at 0 hour and managed to retreat. Frigate Orpheon is now docked at Vortex Outpost. Orpheon's cargo appears to have a 100% survival rate. Metroids are healthy, but on restricted feeding schedules due to uncertain supply status. We are ready to begin research on the Metroids and other promising life forms. Security status remains at Code Blue. No signs of pursuit from the hunter. That's me. But yeah, like, of course, we have there is no September game, but I think Hollow Knight's going to get a release date very, very soon. And I don't think Nintendo wants a game that comes from similar, you know, that was inspired by Metroid that objectively does better than it in terms of sales, to kind of overshadow it. So that's part of my theory. After that, you know, you got Kirby Air Riders taking up the November window. They could release another game, and that's not out of the question, but I wouldn't necessarily bet money on it. And if they do, they won't view it as a major title. I want to scan some of these guys. Some of these scans are cool. Acid burns have welded the joints of the exoskeleton. Yikes. So either they're just going to throw it into September, or they're going to wait until at least December, which also really isn't a ideal window. I love scanning these things. Death caused by severe lacerations to the abdomen. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it, folks. That'll do it. Peekaboo. Death caused by severe lacerations. That'll do it. Yeah, like I said, that'll probably cause death. Death caused by removal of internal organs. Yeah, I need mine to survive. Yeah, that tracks. That makes sense. So yeah, all in all, I'm a bit pessimistic. It seems like they're not going to give it a ideal window, which as I was hoping. Which means they might not be as... I could be wrong about all this, but the message they're kind of sending right now is they know this is a very niche series, and they're okay with it remaining that way. When I think Metroid, when done properly, could be a 10 million seller. Or at least close to it. Death caused by acidic burns to the face. That could do it. You could survive that, but that could kill you. Death caused by cranial trauma. That'll probably do it too. So those are my thoughts on today's events. A fun little theory about the crashing and burning of Dragon Drive leading to the announcement of Kirby Air Riders, and some pessimism surrounding the release of this wonderful game. Or the sequel to this wonderful game. Would I love to see it earlier this year? Yes, but I don't want it to be overshadowed by Pokemon in October. Or, what the hell? Oh, there we go. Large amounts of blood missing from the carcasses. These bodies may have been used for nourishment. Pattern consistent with predator behavior. Imagine reading all of this shit and then just walking into this next room. They have not been here for very long. No life signs detected. And then this guy, it's just nothing. All right, let's dance. Parasite Queen. Parasite female, genetically enhanced by unknown means. A weak spot has been detected in this creature's mouth. Use your auto-targeting to acquire this new target. Scans indicate the presence of a potent mutagen. Origins unknown. Creature exhibits the ability to fire weapon-grade blasts of energy from its mouth, a trait not present in the standard parasite genome. It appears the pirates have begun a bioengineering program with considerable results. I know there's a trick for firing missiles fast, but I'm not enough of a speedrunner to know what that is. No, that did it. That was pretty fast. Yeah, I could talk about Metroid Prime 4 all day. For now, I'm just going to be happy that I can stream from original hardware and play these three beautiful games finally. Because regardless of what Nintendo gives me, I will always have this. One more theory that I have just popped back into my head. After that aforementioned lack of a September window, I don't think they have, unless they have like a Switch 2 edition of a game coming out then, but I don't think they do. I think they're planning some sort of shadow drop for Mario's 40th anniversary. I think that is the September gimmick. Unless they do that Splatoon Raiders thing that they announced that I really don't care about, to be honest. I don't play Splatoon. This creature is deceased Creature's incubation period was prematurely terminated. Its shell has not yet fully hardened. Rest in peace. And to finish my theory, I'm gonna say Metroid comes out in December. I guess we'll know more. I'll add to that theory on Thursday if they give us a release date for Hollow Knight. But I think it'll come out in December. Maybe sometime near the holidays, but I don't know. People have already bought Christmas presents by then. I think that'll subvert sales a little bit. I know there's also a popular rumor that there's going to be a Metroid Direct next week. That I would not bet money on. But we shall see. All I know is I have Kirby Air Ride, and, you know, there's still good games to play. I truly think Kirby Air Ride's going to be, like, a huge hit for me. Fucking loved the original. And once again, I can't state it enough. God bless Masahiro Sakurai. That man is a legend. Unfortunately, we had to add a second button. I was only catching bits and pieces because I was at work at the time, but when I saw him say that, when he said, we had to add a second button, unfortunately, I could not contain myself. Like, that is so Sakurai. Sir, a second button has hit Kirby Air Ride. Ignore that. Ridley. Even back then in, what was this, 2010, I believe this collection released, or 2009? Still looks badass as hell. Hell yeah. Pretty cool scans here on the, yeah. Oh, it's been so long since I did this, I didn't know this was here. Weapon update complete. Stinger Ballistics online. Plasma Fuel Cell online. Subject: cerebral casing stable. Exoskeleton. Fuck! I'm so bad at saying big words. Seal holding. Begin umbilical retraction. But then again, you see all these big words, and it's just like, yeah, I get why this series doesn't sell a bajillion on a Nintendo console. Like, what other series is there like Metroid with Nintendo? There isn't one. The next closest thing to maturity is what, I don't know, Zelda? Like, actually, no, that's a really bad way of saying it, maturity. What gamers consider maturity. I personally believe that Kirby Air Riders is a game that most adult human beings should play. I personally believe Mario is. I strongly believe Zelda is. But, like, in terms of, like, all ages, that's the better way to say it. Metroid is the one Nintendo franchise I think you can say isn't for all ages. Like, you kind of need to be at least a teenager. So I get it. But if Nintendo really wanted to, you know, capture a different type of audience, then they could invest a little more, you know? Hell yeah, Sess, thinking about cheeky soap. I love Moist. Even when he's doing like an advertisement, he doesn't take himself seriously. Oh, so I'm gonna be getting all the... Yeah, because I deleted the save files, right. Yeah. So I'm gonna be getting all those little, like, cool little, tokens, or whatever they're called, that you get in this game. I always loved that. As soon as I got this game, I couldn't remember the last time I played... I still can't remember the last time I played Metroid Prime on GameCube. This, I firmly believe, is the best way to play these games. Of course, it's the only way to play the third one. But 1 and 2, I've never actually beaten 2 on GameCube. I got that added to my collection last year. I only ever had it on the Trilogy. And my god, does it just... Like... I always say, everyone went crazy about the dual stick controls for Prime Remastered. I felt like I always had that. Like, this is just your right stick. Except it's more immersive. It just feels so right. Like, there's plenty of times where Nintendo, I think, overuses their gimmicks. Like, beats them into the ground. Like, with motion controls, when they overutilize them. I'm looking at my DS games right now. The touchscreen can be a pain in the dick, especially when they make you walk with the touchscreen. But when they do it right, and like this does not feel like I'm not walking, like I'm not doing basic things with this, I'm aiming with it, and it feels so right. I'm gonna try something that I have zero practice doing. Okay, so how do you do that then? I've never watched a proper video. I'm just experimenting with, you know, challenge running tricks that I'm not gonna... If I were to successfully do it, I'm not actually gonna get the space jump boots early. I want to make that clear. This is an organic playthrough where, like, you're kind of just doing things in the order you're supposed to. Is it the far one? I think you might need the far one. Well, maybe not. Let's try that one. Fuck it. Yeah, fuck it. I don't know how to do it. I've never speedrunned this game before. I've only just done it really fast. It's a big difference. Apparently I can't even walk through a door either. Morphology beetle. Burrowing insect with a resilient carapace. Extremely aggressive. Doesn't look that aggressive to me now that it's dead. Always love scanning these. Saturnine? Yeah. Small iridescent mushroom. Typically grows in dank, dark regions. The egg sac. Sapsack, but you know what I mean. SpongeBob reference. Real ones, no. Twins. In we go. I wish I knew how to run this shit from mobile. I'm so bad at things.
Data received.
Yes, seismic activity detected. We know. We know where we're going in this game. I may get lost in the other games a little bit. Well, not lost, but you know, I may have to double check myself more or less. You know what I mean. This one I know very well. We got our first Chozo lore. The history of the Chozo stretches back into ancient times, so far into the fog of the past that we know not where our ancestors came from. One thing is clear, however. The Chozo who colonized Talon 4 made a conscious choice to eschew a civilization of advanced technology. We Chozo chose to live in harmony with nature, guided by the providence of the universe. We believe we will spend peaceful days here and plan to leave our words from time to time. Yeah, I'm sure they'll live in peace, right? What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Let's do it. I cannot wait to go into a new Metroid Prime game and just scan stuff like this. Just try to, like, how would I know? Like, if I didn't play this game a million times, how would I know to just blow that up with a super missile? Like, of course you have your telltale hum of an expansion, but like, you know, in order to find like, I hope the stuff is very well hidden. Like, you know, throw a missile tank right in front of you, or a missile expansion here and there, or an energy tank or a missile expansion right in front of you here or there, but, you know, have your obvious ones that you can see like this, but then your not so obvious ones like that. Like, make me search every single corner. That is what I want. But that would require Metroid Prime 4 to exist.
Recorded to logbook.
That is an ion. Mobile organisms entirely composed. You know, maybe I'm not smart enough for this. Like, I was saying, like, you need to at least be like a teenager or something. Apparently, I can't even read the words that this game wants me to read. We're gonna try to get all the lores, by the way. I want to make that clear. That's the one thing we're trying to 100% here. Okay. Many long years have passed since we Chozo first took root in this land. The passage of time has always been a source of fascination to us. It is the belief of many Chozo sages that the truths of the universe hide within the tumbling currents of time's flow. Even as we search for answers there, however, we find illumination in other, unexpected places. We know not how the ability had come to us, but recently many Chozo have begun to sense things beyond the realm of ordinary perception. Strange sights and inexplicable sensations flood our minds, filling us with visions. We take this growing ability to be a sign of our burgeoning harmonization with the infinite. Perhaps, finally, the universe's secrets are becoming known to us. So yeah, they're a magical, mystical, very smart bird race, as you can tell. Hell yeah. It does not appear important. What do you mean? I can, like... Seems important. One of the few reflections you can see yourself in, other than blowing up a missile in your face. I'm really trying to get in the spirit here, like hit every save station, because why the hell not? I'm trying to make this as casual as humanly possible, while discussing and reading everything I possibly can along the way. I feel like the deeper I get into this, there'll be like little tidbits I'll want to discuss here and there that I kind of just forgot about from not doing this type of playthrough in a long time. Like, even when I was doing my yearly playthroughs, I was kind of doing challenge runs, more or less. even if they were casual challenge runs. Like, I wasn't reading anything, you know, I was still going as fast as I could. You are a slippery little bugger.
According to logbook.
That is a plasmite. Smell that. Expel that energy, buddy. Well, here's our missile expansion.
Recording to logbook.
That is the Hive Mecha, security unit programmed to work with predatory hive dwellers. A design flaw makes the shield on the Hive Mecha weak around their access ports. These units are second-generation combat drones, able to interface with organic units at a higher level. They train, shelter, and work with hive-dwelling predators. Unarmed, they rely on their hive beasts to handle any threats.
Recording.
Missile scan. I'm gonna try to get all those, just cause. If I remember them all. Ram War Wasp. They're just like any other War Wasp, except they ram you. I do love the actual act of aiming in this game too. Like, you can lock on, yes, but it's not just an automatic shot. Like, I still need to do this. Like, I can lock on right here and shoot up there, and it feels so much better. It's harder, but it feels so much better. I'm really not doing great here. I'd be struggling and whatnot. There we go. My hand also cramps up easier than it used to. I used to be able to mash this shit all day. Not anymore, though. Yeah, that figures. I'm not very quick on my feet today, jeez. It's a lot different than remastered, that's for sure. Ow. Ow, 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 I can't pause. There we go. I'm getting too old for this shit, man. There we go, that's better. Life update, I've lost my button mashing skills. Hi. down he goes. This might be pretty hard for me on, like, harder difficulties, honestly. Like, my wrist hurts. I might not be what I once was. It's a sad realization, folks. It really is. There's our missile. And there's our first energy tank. Might as well get it.
Recording.
Pardon more. Okay. I do not care. Have I ever told you all how much I love this couch, by the way? Hold on, let's read this. Passageway to Shrine. Like, I sleep on this couch in the winter. The only reason I don't sleep on it sometimes in the summer is because it's blazing hot in here, and as you know, I have no AC. I only complain about that all the time. Yeah, I love this couch. This couch, like, puts me to sleep like no other, and, like, just by looking at it. Is it kind of visible in this? Yeah, it is. Okay, it's visible. It's old. It's very, very old. But hey, I love it. Gets the job done, you know? Oh. Sneaky little bugger. Plated beetle. Well-armored burrowing insect. Vulnerable only in the rear abdomen. Creature's thick cranial plating can repel frontal attacks. This gives it an advantage in combat, allowing it to make ramming attacks, only surfacing when it detects vibrations above. GG's. Man, this feels like even more of a revisit with me, you know, getting all those little... I love those little badges, those little tokens you get. There's our morph ball. Nothing else we can do in here at the moment. Pardon me, kind sirs. I didn't get any lures at any point, did I? No, I mean, we'll be back in those rooms anyway. Like I said, we gotta make sure we're getting the lures in. That's arguably the most important part here of what I'm trying to do with these playthroughs. There's one. Chozo script translated. The surges of negative energy brought by the meteor far exceed our expectation. We Chozo have yet to find a way to rid ourselves of the great poison. All we can do now is seal it away and wait for the day when a power to purify the poison appears. However, it is already impossible to collect all the pieces of the great poison, as it is already spread, seeping into the planet and hardening. So, as you can tell, like, we're experiencing the story out of order here. In a very, now that I think about it, in a modern spin, in a very Tears of the Kingdom-esque way, although it's more structured here. You know, it went from, here we are, we think we're gonna thrive here for a long time. This seems like a good place to live. Then it's like, man, we're starting to be able to, like, see the future and, like, whatnot. And then it's just like, man, the great poison sucks. It's killing us all. So that escalated quickly. I love experiencing this game this way, though. Like, you're just coming across things as you go. I used up all my missiles. That's actually kind of funny. I don't think I've ever done that here. There we go. Oh, right, yeah. Can't do that yet. What am I doing? Am I dumb? Alright. Little past 8 seems like a good point for our midstream break. So, on that note, folks, give me 5. Can I even see this shit from over here? There we go. There's the pause record button. Yeah, I can do this. I can do this. And I will be right back. There we go. Everything's reactive, right? Yes, good. God, streaming the Wii is such a chore. This is why I'm not really going to do it very often, but hey. For Metroid Prime challenge runs and casual playthroughs, you better believe we're going to do it. Probably the only game I will... Don't hold me to that. It's not the only game I'm going to do it for. I could probably fine-tune this, but for now, migrating to the couch and moving everything over is literally the best solution I have. Such is life. Oh yeah, I love scanning these things. That which fouls the water seeks the sun. The great poison comes from Talon's core. I wish they put, like, more, you know, cool stuff like that, because I don't think there's many, like, random, like, optional, things like that in the game. Like, there are some, but there's not a ton. I just be shooting shit and whatnot. Why am I struggling to talk so much today? I said something weird there. Never mind. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm seeing... I was about to say seeing voices. I should be shot. Anyway, we have a lore. Disaster struck suddenly. We had a vague, dark foreboding, and it became truth. A meteor appeared from nowhere, casting a dark shadow of debris over the land with the violence of its impact. Its destructive force spent, the fallen star burst itself out rapidly, and the incident should have faded into memory. But the meteor brought with it corruption. A great poison burst forth into the land, a strange energy that clawed at natural life with a ferocity. That strange negative energy emitted from the meteor expanded to encompass Talon for... Wait. That strange negative energy emitted from the meteor expanded to encompass Talon 4 in a night. As a spider weaves a web. Fuck, I can't talk today. Give me my charge beam. Give me my charge beam before I hurt somebody. Hell yeah. Press and hold A to charge, release to fire. I wonder if I'll try to stream Star Fox from over here on Saturday. That way I don't have to, like, move all my shit back over and whatnot. It actually doesn't take me that long. I'm just a whiny little bitch. Oh, poor me. I have to labor. Me. You know what I sound like? I sound like a bitch. I sound like a bitch. Nice miss, buddy. You actually could have done damage there. The path of corruption leads even higher. What button was I pressing there? I think I need to sleep. As always. Much like last week, I told y'all, like, my inability to sleep was back in full force last week, and I didn't catch up properly until Thursday, I don't think. Well, we're off to a semi-rough start this week. I'll leave it at that. Not nearly as bad as last week, though. This time it's a slightly self-inflicted, so it's really not that big of a deal. Like, I can easily fix this tonight. As long as I start focusing on sleep immediately upon ending this stream at roughly 9. I'm also trying to, like, properly, because, like, 3 streams would be kind of pushing it, because that'll cost me sleep. Hell, I could do some horsing around for 1 stream, too. Or I could just stream Star Fox if I end up beating it in 3. But I'm aiming for 4. It'll also help me focus more on sleep. That way I'm not pressuring myself to stream too far past 9 these days. Because I just got a lot of shit going on, you know? It's just, this year's been one of the, actually, it probably hasn't been one of the busiest in my life, but, I'm kind of making it that way, just based on things I want to do with the house and stuff. Like, this is mostly self-inflicted stuff, but it's like, kinda, it is stuff that has to be done, you know? Now that I can kind of justify doing it. I should scan this. This is the Incinerator Drone, programmed for high-temperature waste disposal. Device schematics indicate a high risk of malfunction when internal power core is damaged. Unit has minimal combat programming, but can defend itself if necessary. This drone's intense heat blasts compensate for its lack of battle prowess. Okay. Put my friggin' glasses on. Although I hate my glasses, so I will not do that. These guys are a one-time scan too, something I forgot about when I was trying to do a challenge run. Barbed War Wasp. Ah! That's what killed me one time. I got stuck like right there, I think. When I was doing my practice run specifically. That's a scan. Like I said, I'm not going 100% here. Just getting all the missables. And of course, fucking shit, stop doing that. And whatever lures I can get to, which is hopefully going to be all of them. Because, I mean, I do visit every room in the game. There's really no reason for me to not get them all. Oh, yeah. Give me my bombs. I'm moving like Oppenheimer. The cons of having such a low couch, which I really don't mind, I kind of like it, honestly. It's pet friendly if I ever get another dog. I can't put this water bottle in front of me because it will block this. But of course, that's just for the Wii. It's not a problem for the Cube and the others. Y'all should have seen the first ever TV I played Wii on. You know how there's this setting on here where it asks if the sensor bar is being placed on top or the bottom of the television, which again shows you just how old we're getting at this point. That one it was a TV that sat on the floor on like a little mini stand. Like it was maybe 3 inches off the floor. And it just was like the top of it was a countertop, essentially. I just be searching and whatnot. I love these guys. Stone Toad. Preys on creatures smaller than itself, vulnerable only from within. Okay, use your tusks, buddy. Use them. I kind of feel bad killing them. Like, they're not really bothering anybody. He was just in my way. I feel like I'm going through this a little too fast if I want it to be 4 streams. Because again, I really don't want to rush it. But like, there will be times where I'll slow down. Did I just go to the wrong one? No, I didn't. No, I'm stupid. There will be times where there's going to be a lot of scans. Like, I'll spend a lot of time in the Space Pirate base in the Findrana region. I'll spend a lot of time scanning. I love scanning all the little things in the Phazon mines. And of course we still have our end run, which takes like 30 minutes. Gimme, gimme. Now, I will say one thing they could have done with this game. I think it's easier for me to... Like, if B was shoot... And at the time, I didn't really give a shit, but... You know... Is that an that might be an option. I never bothered to really change that type of stuff. Controller. Swap... Yeah. Yeah. Let's experiment, because like my wrist was killing me spamming that A button, but like that feels so much more natural. Swap, jump, and fire. Yeah, definitely don't swap beam advisor. That'll fuck me up. That is a that God. So adolescent slash child me, which I guess this game was 2005. I was 14 then, which is when I developed my adolescence is when I developed my obsession for this series. I was just a slight fan before that. Back then, like, you know, like I could just do that, and like I would get some wrist pain with how much I mash, but this just feels right in this day and age. Like for the B button, like shooting like this, like it feels like a trigger almost. Why have I never done this before? I accidentally didn't press jump there. I might. Yeah, I really like that feel. Fuck it. We're getting experimental today, folks. We're playing a dangerous game. So A is now jump and B is now shoot. And it honestly feels natural. So far, I've only pushed the wrong button once. I can't believe I never tried that. To the point where I didn't even know it was in the settings. Like, as I was saying it, that one, I did it wrong again. We'll have to break the habit a little. I'm moving like Linkin Park. That reminds me, I saw Linkin Park this weekend, as y'all know. Oh my goodness. I'll discuss that more on Thursday. I've rambled on about enough stuff today. We'll discuss Linkin Park on Thursday. I will set a reminder to do so. I have things to say about how awesome they are. If y'all follow me on any of the socials, either Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok, you will see that I went bar for bar with Mike Shinoda multiple times. I was screaming the lyrics to When They Come For Me. I fucking love that song. Okay, now I'm starting to mix up the buttons a little, but hey, we'll get there. Like, it feels better when I'm shooting. Like, I'm not getting the wrist pain that I tend to succumb to in my old age. So does that... No, so these... I think this is the same, yeah. I think that's the same. Am I dumb? Okay, now I'm just having brain farts. It's the C button. So A is jump, A is jump. B is not jump. Must remember. I really think I could get used to playing that way. It just feels more natural. Because as you know, the A button is typically to jump in a Nintendo game. Like I said, I never played with controls back in the day. Whatever the game gave me to start off, typically I did it. There's really only one exception, and that exception is Star Fox Assault. One, I just thought it was cool to use the advanced controls because it sounded really cool.
Recorded to logbook.
Venom Weed. But it just felt right. Like, I could never play that game without the dual stick controls. It just felt wrong every time I attempted to. Like, ain't no way I was getting those combos and those points stacked up on foot when I was, you know, using one stick to look around and move. Alright, let's do this Flagra. Ready to die. Shout out to everyone who's been tuning in. I've been seeing quite a few people pop in and out, even if it's just for 20 minutes. Always appreciated. I know casual playthroughs aren't always necessarily the most exciting things, regardless of who is doing them, so I appreciate it greatly. For a game that means a lot to me, and a game that I have a lot to say about in a casual playthrough, it means a lot. A new creatures entry has been downloaded to your logbook. Morphology... Fortunately, I can barely say anything today. I'm just brain dead. Morphology. Flagra. This mutant plant is the source of toxic water in the ruins. Flagra's growth cycle has been radically accelerated. As a result, it requires near constant exposure to solar energy to remain active. This exposure has made Flagra's outer shell thick and durable. Its lower root system is unprotected and vulnerable, however. Exploit this flaw when possible. Concentrated weapon fire can daze it for short periods. Like I said, we're going to scan, we're going to have a lot of fun with this. Like I said, it just, like, look at that. Like, they didn't have to come up with those cool-ass sketches on the side there, but they did. It's cool as hell. There's so much attention to detail in this game. Alright, strafing is now going to be the A button. That kind of feels a little weird, actually. For some reason. And it feels weird to charge with the B button. I don't know why. Spamming with the B button feels right. Jumping with the A button feels... We'll get there. If there's one game I'm going to experiment with, it's this one. Because this one I could beat in 5 hours flat if I wanted to. The other games, it's where I'm a little rusty. I still know them very well, but there's a little rust involved. Those are the ones I'll have to be more careful on. If there's one time we're going to try to adjust to a new control scheme, it's now. Fuck you. They get stunned. Pardon me while I check something here, because I just can't remember. Okay, so that is still A. That's what I thought. Back to experiment. Rumble's on for sure. Oh, so you can turn that off. Interesting. See, like I said, which I probably knew that at one point. But I like that. It feels more realistic. It's harder, and it's not speedrun friendly, but hey, it's realistic, and that's what I'm going for here. Oh, okay. It's interesting. Not gonna make myself dizzy tonight, though, that's for sure. Like I say, if there's one where I'm gonna be experimental, it's right now. Standard. Get stuck or something, buddy? You all right? Yeah, it is a little tough with the, There we go. Like, some things it feels seamless. Other ones, it's like, I've been doing it this way for so long. I've done it dozens of times that way, so I gotta, like, reteach myself. Starting to figure it out here a bit. Yeah, there we go. We're figuring it out. And my wrist doesn't hurt, so that's cool. That's always a good thing when you're not in bodily pain. And hey, if it gets to a point where, like, a stream feels too short or something like that, like, if, let's say, the last one, like, it's only gonna be, like, an hour for me to beat the game, I'll just do something stupid. Like, like, what do I have here that I could play for an hour? Mario Baseball. Super Sluggers, specifically. I could play Striker's Charge for an hour. Play Wii Sports for an hour. Probably hurt myself or break something, but I'll try it, you know. The world is our oyster, my friends, and by that I mean this room is kind of my, like, that's my oyster right there on the wall over there with my, like, 50-some GameCube games and my 50-some N64 games and my, like, 20-30-some Switch games and my, like, 20-some DS games and, like, my 25-some Wii games and, like, my 40-some GBA games and, like, my 15 some Game Boy games and my 6. No, the box. You gotta count the box. My like 11 Super Nintendo games. And you can't forget like the 15 or so NES games I have at a different location. Man, when I say it that way, I feel like I don't have many games. Like, I'm not even close to completing one library, but hey, that'll change eventually. That's another thing I've been prioritizing. Trying to key in on that N64 collection. The problem is there's so many games I want for other consoles, too. It's kind of dwindled down. It's only like a handful left that I want. But whenever I see them, I'm tempted to get them. And then it puts the N64 on hold. One of these days, I'll have to show off my loose, it's not that impressive, but my loose, manuals, because I could theoretically buy just about every single, GBA game that I have. It would just take a loose box to make them complete in box or close to it. Like, it'll at least be with manual. Like, I think I have all of those for my Game Boy Advance. I should scan some more enemies, too. I'm kind of lacking in that regard. Whoops, pressing the wrong button again. This is a save station. Like I said, some things it feels natural, other things not so much. Like, B really should feel natural to cancel. I'm just so used to not doing it that way. Like, that's typically the button to cancel. No, I just missed those. Anyway. This is a Grisby. Subvolcanic carrion feeder. Carapace can be breached by missiles. There it is. Shriekbat. Territorial ceiling dweller. Body temperature peaks at 121 degrees centigrade. Shriekbats have high internal temperature, making them easy to spot with thermal imaging. They roost on cave ceilings while hunting for small prey. That is a burrower, tunneling insect predator. The burrow is similar to the beetle, though it prefers to spend more time underground. That right there is a magmor, fire-breathing serpent that dwells in lava. Magmors prefer extreme heat zones and are susceptible to frigid attack forms. Sightless, they navigate the lava currents using their sonar receptors. Magmors have a keen sense of smell, enabling them to pinpoint the targets with starting. It's almost bedtime. You can't pinpoint targets without a head, can you? Puffer. Unstable gas-filled organism. Will rupture on contact. Me when I. Yeah, this is a bit of an adjustment now. Now I'm starting to realize. Fuck, I'm starting to realize. It's not as easy as I thought. It's just like, the natural part is like, my wrist doesn't get all crampy when I shoot a lot. And I feel like it's disrupting my rhythm on other buttons. Like, ever since I switched, I can't remember what the morph ball button is for some reason, which makes no sense, but I'm also brain dead. Alright, A button. A button. B button. Hell yeah. Where the fuck am I going? Love these guys. Triclops. Hard-shelled creature with powerful jaws. The Triclops is a hunter-gatherer. It collects small creatures and bits of foodstuff. Then deposits them elsewhere for later consumption. The hard tripartite mandibles it uses to move earth and rock are quite strong and difficult to escape once ensnared. Yeah, ensnare these nuts, buddy. Watch this. And now we are in the Triclops pit. Yes, it's becoming a little more of an adjustment now. But we move nonetheless. Maybe I'll switch back. We'll see. I be feeling experimental today. There's my cave that I've had a hard time finding lately for some reason. Yeah, I'm done. You fucking cocksucker. Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I confused you. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Jesus. Confusing myself. Love this little room here. What am I doing? Yard, maybe it be time for bed. And once again lost. Ooh, look at that. What's over there? What's over there? That's probably just another part of the room I can just see from here. Anyway, there's my steps. Fuck. Yeah, this experiment might die pretty quick. I'll just have to spam the A button until my wrist falls off when I'm shooting. It's happening too often. You can't really unteach yourself these things if you've been doing them for so long, you know? It just feels right. Even if there is a better way to do it, your body is just used to what it's used to, you know? We'll see. We'll open up Thursday's stream trying it and see what happens. That's an auto defense turret. Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's happening a little too much. Top in the morning. again. We might need to switch back. At the very least, I can trek through the rest of this stream by, you know. Ass cheeks. Can we do it the tough way? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, fuck that. Wait for it to come back. Yeah, buddy. I love that, just because that's how they wanted you to do it. Just feels better, you know? To Fendrana we go, and I think once we get to that save station, that'll be a good point to stop. I feel like, because where do I usually stop when I do my... I usually stop at, like, the Phazon Mines entrance. Yeah. Or post the, you know. So I want to divide this into 4s. This would be a good place to stop. Concussive Blast, eh? Welcome to the Fendrana region, ladies and gentlemen. Those little shits, there they are. Not that, that. A Flickerbat. Scavenger with optical camouflaging that renders it invisible to the naked eye. Flickerbats are deceptive creatures. The only way to track them reliably is with X-ray imaging. They fly ceaselessly, hunting insects and other small prey that float on the air currents. Flickerbats tend to fly in cyclical hunting patterns using primitive sonar to navigate. They didn't have to go this hard, but they did, you know? They did. The new creatures entry has been downloaded to your logbook. Morphology, crystallite, territorial cold weather scavenger. The shell of a crystallite reflects beam weapons and can only be cracked by a concussive blast. They hang upside down in an ice cave during their larval stage. Moisture runs off of its body and forms the hard ice shell, which the crystallite retains for the rest of its life. Does it now? Didn't seem so hard to me. New personnel must report to the South Research Facility. Failure to report will be penalized by a 30% ration cut and extra duty. Western Temple is in Phase 2 lockdown. All projects are postponed. Under no circumstances are personnel to attempt access. All ballistics support personnel report to Research Lab Hydra. Lockdown Containment Plan 3A in effect until further notice. Alright, well. That has been part 1 of our little adventure here. Oh boy! The masculine urge to just stretch it out on the couch. Okay. Alright. I had fun doing that, and as much as I love the first game, I always say it's my favorite in the series. I think I'm gonna have a lot more fun doing 2 and 3. Just because it's been so long, and it's just... It hasn't been long. I play these games once a year. But, like, it's not enough for this feeble brain to remember everything. You know, Metroid Prime Remastered, I've run through, what, like 3 times this year? And like multiple times last year and multiple times the year before. It's very fresh in my head. That one I also had for a longer time by at least 4 or 5 years. But yeah. Anyway, it is time, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you I'm going to get a good night's sleep. And I made the promise last week I'd get a good night's sleep and do good at pinball. Neither happened. I promise you, mark my words, that's going to happen this week. I am going to get a good night's sleep. And I'm going to play good at pinball. And then I'm going to tell y'all all about it come Thursday. Once again, shout out to everyone for stopping by. Again, this is still a work in progress, you know, learning how to do this from over here, just getting more comfortable with it, so I appreciate y'all. Shout out to Cess for stopping by. Shout out to, was it J-Boy? Yeah, J-Boy for stopping by. Much appreciated, saying hi as well. Again, Jesus, I'm making y'all dizzy. Saw a bunch of other people pop in for a bit or for a while here and there. Y'all are appreciated too, and I'll see you Thursday. Peace out, my friends. All right, now let's see if I can reach this thing over here. There it is.